Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. Double honor to the apostle of the great millstone. And peace and blessing to the elect. I have another edition of GMS News and Prophecy. And I have an article from thebusinessinsider.com. And it's entitled, The U.S. Military Isn't Too Small, but it is spread too thin. All right, I'm going to jump right into it. It says here, according to my longtime friend, Dan Gorey, the U.S. military is a pale shadow of its former self. Furthermore, it is now too small to succeed because the demand for U.S. military forces continues to grow even as their overall capacity declines. All right, now this is the reason why I'm doing this article and putting this out is because according to prophecy, the American military or the military of Babylon is to be thinned out, spread out, and then eventually sent over to the Middle East, which is known as the Valley of Jehoshaphat in the scriptures, to be basically decimated. Okay, because America's going to be destroyed in this Third World War via nuclear missiles. Okay, so this all ties into this the American military being spread too thin. This all ties into future prophecy. Okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and read it from the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter, and I believe it's 2 and 20. Right, this is Joel chapter 2. Here we go. Joel chapter 2, verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive them into a land barren and desolate. Now, this is the Most High speaking, and he says he's going to remove from you the northern army. The northern army is the American army, the North American army. Okay, started with the United States. Okay, and it says I will drive them into a land barren and desolate. That's over there in the Middle East. Okay, starting with going back to around 1990 with Desert Storm. Okay, going back to the Gulf War. That's when America's military forces started entering, the Middle East, dealing with Iraq and those wars over there. And that's when they entered that region, and they were pushed over there in that desert-like region, okay, in the Middle East. So that's the Most High removing off from us the northern army, okay. It says with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, which represents the I believe you have the Persian Gulf, okay, which is near Iran, and then you have the Red Sea, which is west of Saudi Arabia. So these are the two seas and the two bodies of water that the American military is basically in right now. The whole region. You got Syria, you got Iraq, you got Iran, you got Saudi Arabia, okay. North you got Turkey, all right. So that whole region, that's the Most High putting them there, according to the prophecy that I'm reading here, okay. It says, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up. His stink meaning because there's a war that's going to take place in that region, okay. You see what's going on. You got these different airstrikes between U.S. and Syria, Aleppo and Syria. That's big in the news, okay. Killing so-called innocent children over there. All right, you got Russia sending in their airstrikes. You got them those Jewish gutter rats. They over there, okay. It says, and his ill savor shall come up because these people, they look ill at America. They look ill at the so-called West. Those Israelis over there, all right. That's their ill savor coming up because then you got these other countries like Russia, China, Iran. They're puffing at these at the West, okay, at NATO and America, all right. We just had that fiasco in Turkey a while back, trying to get that their leader out of there, and they want to get this the leader of Syria out of there is a whale, Assad. But these other countries, they're despising America now, so that's their ill savor coming up. You know, they're saying America stinks, you suck. Okay, they call America the Great Satan. All right. And it says because he hath done great things. And what has America done? America has gone all over to these different countries, and they create fiascos to where they try to take their leader out. Okay, they put in a puppet leader. They put in these central banks, and then once America has its foothold in that country, they strip them of the natural resources, and they impose their wicked ways and laws upon that country. Okay, those are the great wicked things that America has done. So the Most High is pushing that military, the American military over there. All right, and worldwide as well. Okay, to bring about this upcoming world war. All right. So back in the script, in the article. All right. Let's see here. It says, furthermore, it is now too small to succeed because the demand for U.S. military forces continues to grow even as their overall capacity declines. But if the U.S. military is too small to succeed, the core question is, succeed at what? All right, and we know what that is. That's Esau trying to establish a new world order. Okay, that's what that is. All right. It says missions drive requirements and capabilities, right? And then America's the spearhead behind the so-called white man Esau's new world order coming to fruition in the earth militarily. Okay, that's why America's in all these different places, man. All right. It says if America's responsibility is to be the world's policeman and provide security in every region around the globe, then Gore is correct. But polling shows that Americans are increasingly tired of U.S. overseas military interventions. All right, that's that apathetic state that these so-called American citizens are in, and those in the military as well, man. They're tired of being shipped out overseas and these different tours and things like that, because it's not really accomplishing nothing for them. All right, these so-called veterans, they come back to America, they're homeless, or they don't have no money, or they go through all kind of troubles and hardships over here. So they're tired of that. Okay, but nevertheless, America has to keep pushing that New World Order agenda. All right. So it says, but polling shows that Americans are increasingly tired of U.S. overseas military interventions and want our allies to carry their own weight in defending themselves. To begin, the paramount responsibility of the U.S. military is to defend against existential threats to the homeland and American way of life. But that's what the so-called war on terror is, all right? But it's deeper than that, okay? It's all about establishing a wicked one world government on the earth. It says in that regard, there is only one truly existential threat: Russia's nuclear weapons inherited from the former Soviet Union. All right, because the upcoming war is going to be a nuclear war. Okay. The scripture talks about, matter of fact, and I'm gonna get it. It talks about this shall be fought with this war shall be fought with fuel of fire. Okay. Let's see. This is in fact. Well, first let's get this scripture. Because it talked about the nuclear arsenal. All right. So Isaiah 54:16, it says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work," which goes into these nuclear scientists and these different scientists and missile defense contractors and these guys like that. All right, that produce these different military grade weapons. Okay. And it says, and I have created the waster to destroy. The waster is the nuclear missile. Russia has them. China has them. America has them. Okay. Cuba has them. All right. That's what the nuclear missile was created for, to destroy and waste. All right. The land of Israel as well, but also is going to destroy the whole land of America. Okay. And then I mentioned about let's see, let's get the scripture here. Let's see. The right, fuel of fire. Let's get this. Right, this is Isaiah the 9th chapter and the 5th verse. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Right? Now, when you watch them old ancient warrior movies with warriors, they fought with swords, shields, right? Now look at 300. That's the type of battle that is talking about. Okay, it says a confused noise when you hear these different war cries and the shattering of sword upon sword or sword on shield or arrows screeching through the air. All right. It says it's with a confused noise. You know, you hear these different rallying cries. You hear the grunts and the screams. Okay. The sounds of a blunt force being applied to flesh, man. Okay. It says, but this, meaning this next battle, this next war, shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So it's going to be a war fought with fire. Okay, but what type of fire? Nuclear fire. Okay, and that's what is being brewed in the earth right now. A war of fire. Okay. So back in the article again, it says that is offset by the U.S. strategic nuclear arsenal, right, which acts as a powerful deterrent, such as it did vis-a-vis the Soviet Union during the Cold War, when both sides had significantly more warheads pointing at each other, threatening Armageddon. Right? Now, the Cold War, which was between the 50s and on into the 80s, until around 89 when the Berlin Wall was collapsed and the Soviet Union was so-called dissolved, okay? That's when you had a threat of nuclear weapons and bombs being built up between Russia and America, right? And there was always a threat during, you know, when kids were in school back then, things like that, that a nuclear war might take place. You know, you had something called the atomic age in the 60s and things like that, right? So that's what the war was afraid of, right? Now I talked about Armageddon, but see, the Most High, he has a a plan dealing with Armageddon, okay? Because Armageddon will take place, and I just read part of it, all right? So this is Revelation 16 and 14. It says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of the power Almighty. Okay? Which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It says, behold, I come as a thief, which is Yahweh Shai himself. Blessed is he that watcheth. They're talking about us prophets. Okay? We watch and we do these articles and we present the information through the Spirit and the scriptures to the elect. Right? So blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, this truth, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Right? Verse 16. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, or Harmageddon, which Har means mountain, and Magadwan means of the troops. Okay? And that place is going to take place in the Middle East. And I read that in Joel, the 2nd chapter. Right? See, it was a threat back then, you know, with the Cold War and everything. But now, as you see what's going on in the news today, you see um, how things are being set up. That hey, World War III is close, man. And then you got this you got this president elect Trump, this wild card. He's supposed to get up in there come January 20th, 2017, and he said he's gonna bomb the hell out of Iran, man, if need be. Okay, so that's just part of this place pushing towards World War III, man. All right, so I'm gonna jump back in the article. Uh, and I'm actually gonna jump down some because it talks about these different other countries and their arsenals too, like North Korea, okay, India, Japan, South Korea, right? And you can see the different flags and things like that popping up on the screen as I'm scrolling. There was a point that I wanted to get. All right, so let's read this here. It says the problem isn't that the U.S. military is too small. The problem is that we keep asking the military to do too much, or worse, what it shouldn't do. Regime change, democratic national building, and humanitarian intervention. All right, and that's basically what they do. They go around trying to police the world, man. You know, the American military think that they're supposed to be some kind of well, I'm gonna use what Cat Williams said, junior high school principal, going around thinking that they can put whatever rules in place that they see fit, you know. But the Most High, he says otherwise, man. Okay, that's why it's gonna put a stop to America and the so-called white man overall, right? It says Dr. Gorey concludes that a force that is too small to fail is one that the U.S. increasingly could be reluctant to send in harm's way, save when national survival is at risk. Yet that is exactly only when the U.S. military should be sent in harm's way, right? But the scripture says, according to prophecy, the army is going to be sent out. Okay, so let's go back to the book of Joel. All right, let's go to the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right, in Joel chapter 3 and 1, it says, For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, when the Israelites are to wake up, which is happening all over the world. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Middle East, which means Jehoshaphat means Yahweh's judgment. Okay, Yahweh Shaphat. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom these other nations put in slavery. They put us in slavery over here, man. So the Most High is going to avenge us on them, man. He's going to destroy these nations, man. It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Which I mentioned those false Jews over there, man. Because those are Edomites. Those are numbered so-called white people, man. Okay? Claiming to be better than, you know, the next cracker. Okay? But the Most High, he's going to destroy them, man, in this upcoming war. Okay? So the fact that America's being spread all over the world, the military is getting too thin, the threat of World War III is talking in the talks in the news. That's prophecy, man. Okay? And America will be destroyed. All right? Thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So with that, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.